You're up.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Diana Brown. This is an open meeting of the Madaket Area Plan Work Group. And per the governor's order, I will ask your forgiveness to not read it, but I will just summarize that per the governor's order for open meetings, we are allowed to have this via Zoom. All votes will be roll call, and this meeting will be recorded and put on the town's website. So without any further ado, let's do a roll call of attendees. Here representing Town Committee 2 is Bill Greeter, Leslie Present. Forbes,
Present.
Michael Maynard,
Present.
Peter Heffenreffer,
Present.
Lars Soderberg,
Present.
Kathy Slattery. You're muted, Kathy.
Present, sorry.
Sheila David.
Present.
Bruce Mandel.
Here.
Tom Erickson.
Here.
And Diana Brown, I'm here. Thank you. So could I ask please to have, are there any changes or can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Michael Maynard?
Aye.
Leslie Forbes?
Aye.
Peter Heffenreffer?
Aye.
Lars Soderberg?
Aye.
Kathy Slattery?
Aye.
Sheila David?
Aye.
Bruce Mandel?
Yes.
Tom Erickson?
Yes.
Diana Brown approves. That's unanimous. Thank you. I'm glad we don't have 25 people on this meeting. So since our last meeting, the amazing MAP work group subcommittee, survey subcommittee of Tom Erickson, Ethan Devine, Leslie Forbes, David Madigan, Bruce Mandel, Michael Maynard, and Lars Soderberg have done a huge effort to come up with a readable, manageable 30-question, 15-minute survey. I think, I don't know, Leslie, are you on version 15, 14?
Well, yes. David said it's a good thing I didn't hire myself out for this because I've spent so many hours on it, nobody could afford it.
Well, I know you have spent a lot, and as others have, and Bruce, I really want to thank Bruce because he has taken it on himself to learn the ins and outs of SurveyMonkey. And so now he is monkey extraordinaire. And I was just waiting to say that. And he is extraordinaire at having done all of these various iterations of the survey. Bruce, did you say that you had sent the survey out to the work group?
I had sent it out to the survey work group.
The survey work.
It's a 29-question survey with a preamble and an explanation. And as of this morning, I think I've captured all of the corrections and suggestions and modifications. And other than some issues that Leslie is working on in terms of, I think, some question batting order, it's about ready to go to the entire MAP work group for their review.
Thank you. I think that's terrific. I took it again, and I also tried forwarding it from my home email address to my work email address and computer to see if it would let me take it again as another email address, and it did not. It knew that I had already taken the survey. So I think that the way the survey is currently set up, it definitely would have to be specifically emailed to individual people to be able to take, because that was the test on it. It seems like, are there other parts on up the survey status right now that anybody wants to provide updates on?
I'd just like to remind everybody that this is the first of two surveys. I've started to draft some questions on the second survey, which I'm reluctant to share at this time until we get through the first survey.
And just as a reminder, we are doing this survey at the advice of the planning department, which encouraged us to get full, to get as comprehensive input from the Madaket community as possible. And so this would be step one of doing that. The second survey would be step two. And we may end up doing a focus group or something also.
Excuse the interruption, Madam Chair. Bob Kachavi has now joined.
Welcome, Bob.
You're muted.
Yep, I'm on.
There we go.
Thank you.
Took a while.
Does anyone have any questions about the survey they'd like to ask, or are we ready to move on to the next agenda item?
I would just like to suggest that if anyone has, once Bruce sends out this survey link to the work group, I'd encourage you to take it if you haven't taken it already. And if you have any specific questions, to send them in writing to Bruce and copy me. I would normally say copy Leslie, but she's going to be away for the next several weeks enjoying her birthday. So we will not bother her with the survey questions. But, and we will take those comments into consideration. But at this point, I think we should recognize the effort of the survey subgroup and the many iterations they've gone through and the thought that they put into this. So I don't think it's appropriate for any of us to start to overthink what their work has already done.
This is Sheila. I just have a question. How long is the survey?
29 questions. Takes about 15 minutes to go through.
Okay.
And actually the 29th question is just collecting some comments that the survey takers might have that they might want to share.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Well, again, thank you very much to the survey subgroup for working on this and for getting us to this spot. I know it has not been easy, but I think it looks and reads really well. And it's certainly going to give us some good information. So is there any further information or questions on the survey itself?
Well, Diana, this is Sheila. One of the things you asked me is how to get it to the homeowners here at the Fisher's Landing. Is that right? And
that's the next agenda item. So
okay.
Yes.
Right.
So we currently, so when we think about how we could distribute the survey, we've got a couple of different options. One is that we've learned is that in order for you to be able to take the survey has to be mailed directly to you. I can't have a survey mailed to me that I then forward to you. So the Madaket Conservation Association has an email database of roughly 400 plus names, which covers a lot of Madaket. I started pulling together a physical snail mail address listing of all the households or all the property owners in the Madaket general area watershed protected harbor watershed protection district. And it looks like I may have duplicates in these lists because I had to pull them by section. So, but it looked like there were something like 900 addresses. And many of those are duplicates because every land council or every land bank property is identified separately and so on. But anyway, there's more than what the Madaket Conservation Association has in their database. In the Fisher's Landing Association database, I assume that there's about 90 or so email addresses for that, that group. So that would get us to a large percentage of Madaket, but it wouldn't include people who are not part of Madaket Conservation Association or Fisher's Landing. And so we would almost have to snail mail a postcard or something to those people to send them a link with some kind of an access code that they would identify who they are when they take the survey.
I think Tom Erickson also has a list of contacts.
Thank you. Tom Erickson does as well. So Tom has the Smiths Point Association, and that would certainly help with further distribution. But
Diana,
yes.
This is Bob. I have the emails for the 15 people in this circle on South Cambridge.
Okay.
Diana, have they forwarded the survey out yet?
No. And so question is even as we are talking right now about the emails that we don't have all the emails. And so the question for this group would be is how would do we just say, well, just email it and whoever gets it, and if somebody else wants it, we have to broadly communicate that they should send an email and request a survey? Or should we be more proactive maybe and send postcards to people who are not on the email list?
Diana, do we have any way to distinguish? You said there's duplicate addresses and emails. That sounds like quite a chore to figure out what addresses we do not have emails for.
It would take some work to look through spreadsheets and cross out names and so on, yes.
So Diana, this is Sheila. So you need the email addresses for the homeowners in Fisher's Landing?
Correct. I had a conversation with Lauren O'Donnell some months ago now, Sheila, about this. And she said that she would be able to forward a survey to all the members via email because that's how she does the newsletter.
Yes, that's right. Okay. So
that I think could work.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work.
There's another item also. We could provide some kind of a link, I hope, in Madaket Matters.
That's the newsletter. I don't.
How do we know who is clicking on that link?
I would think that it would go to the Madaket Matters. It's distributed by email.
So that goes to the same people that we would be emailing the survey to.
It could have a wider distribution unless Charlie wants to share the list and they can cross-reference it perhaps with Bill's list of the.
That is, Bruce, that is the list I use to send out.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Madaket Matters goes to all of the members plus the partial members, which are the seasonal over at the Tristram's area. So there's 200 addresses in the Tristram's area that are not full-fledged members. But
what about the timeshare?
That's what I'm talking about. That's
okay. Well, perhaps Melissa Murphy could provide the timeshare emails to you.
that is it. That is included, Bruce. That's in that 200.
I got you. Thanks.
Diane, is there a sense that you with what you know now, be able to say it looks like we have 80% of all the homes in Madaket, or all the appropriate homes in Madaket, and can that number then be run by somebody in the town to say, here's what we can do. Is this enough for you to feel comfortable that this represents Madaket? Because if we end up with 50% and they say, no, we have to have 75% participation in a survey, then we've got some work to do. If they say, if this is 80%, they say 70% is fine, then we're probably in okay shape if we know what percentage we have.
Well, the town association recently did a survey and they had very high percentage feedback. I think it was like 85%. And the town didn't like their results, so they still discounted the survey. So I'm not sure if the percentage, I know a low percentage would not be acceptable, but I'm not sure that there's a certain number that's a high percentage.
How did the other neighborhood associations manage their distribution? Perhaps we could make inquiry through the Civic Association for those that did send out a survey and see what percentage response rate they have.
Well, what the town association just did was they sent a postcard to everybody within the town association with a link to a survey and a specific access code. So each address had a different access code and there was a spot on the survey where you had to enter that. So that's how they knew that you weren't taking the survey 4 times. And we could do that. We could do that for all the addresses in Madaket and forget doing the blanket on email distribution, but that seems a little bit backwards technology wise. Or we could just promote in Daybreak or Nantucket Current, you know, contact Madaket, put the Madaket Conservation Association email address in there if you're interested in a copy of the survey.
Do you think the assessor's office could assist?
Let me just chime in. I don't think at this time of year, sending postcards to Madaket addresses,
Yeah.
mine, I don't know what happens to mine. So, I mean, no one's going to get.
I've gotten yours. I don't know what's, anyway.
Good point.
You're right.
So I don't think.
And many of those folks are seasonal reps who now get their mail to an off-island address rather than their island address.
Right. So if we have Madaket addresses, I don't think it's worth sending anything. The only thing we could try is what you just said, Diane, is if there's some reasonable public way, you know, calling all residents of Madaket. If you haven't received the survey, please, and you'd like to take it, send a note to this mailbox and we'll provide a link.
Yeah, Diana, just the other caveat too to think of is what the town experiences in getting a hold of a lot of these people. The LLCs receive the stuff and the owners often don't get stuff that goes to the LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is a survey to an LLC contact point goes in the grinder.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Realtors Association helping us?
You don't want them to, they're going to skew the thing.
I have a question too, real quick. We're talking about one survey per address, but I don't understand that in the sense that there's residents of Madaket that multiple people live in a house. So if my husband gets the newsletter and I get the newsletter and my tenant gets the newsletter, provided I had one, aren't they all Madaket residents and aren't they all entitled to voice their opinion?
If you each got the email with a survey, then yes. And if you didn't get the email with a survey, but your husband heard about it because you got it, then he could request a survey. So the answer is yes.
Okay.
And there is in the preamble, there is a note saying that if you want another survey, to email the Madaket Conservation Association and we can process it.
If you provide an email address, we can send you the survey.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, kind of back to Peter's point about what kind of numbers do we need? If we can find a way to reach 500 people, that's going to be a pretty close approximation of who's in Madaket if they respond. I mean, that would be a powerful statement to be able to say, we've got 500 responses for this survey.
Mm-hmm.
So just again, being the devil's advocate, not to be a pain in the butt, but you and I, you know, and Leslie and Peter could get all of our families to submit their email and skew the results in whatever way we want by using those emails.
Yes, but I'm not sure that's skewing the results. Those 5 people are entitled to an opinion on the future Madaket.
Okay.
If we all went to town meeting and all, you know, we're residents here, we could all vote.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think it's important to know the difference between how many opportunities to take the survey are sent out versus how many of those people who have the opportunity to take the survey actually take it.
Mm-hmm.
My point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes.
We need to identify David. Is this David Madigan that has just joined?
Oh, good.
Unmute, David.
You're muted. David.
Sorry. Yes, I am. I'm here. Yes. Sorry,
Okay,
I'm in my car,
just-
so I'll leave my video off.
Okay, I'm going to rename you just so for the record it's on there. You're all set. Sorry, Diana. Go ahead.
Thank you. No, thank you for catching him.
Diana,
So what I'm hearing from you, right? I'm sorry, Sheila, go ahead.
This is Sheila. I was just thinking, I think it's better for certainly the Fisher's Landing people and probably everybody to email it directly to the person rather than say, if you want a survey, get back to us. Because you get so much so many things on email that if you get the survey, you'd probably be more willing to do it right there rather than saying, okay, now I have to ask for it.
The idea of asking for it was if you didn't get one, but you heard about it from somebody else and you wanted to fill out the survey.
Yes, that's okay. Okay, I thought somebody was saying, you know, put it in something and then if you want it, you know.
There is a paragraph here that says, you may receive a survey link from multiple sources, capitals. Please respond only once. If you want an additional survey, please email MCA. Your responses and comments will be anonymous, but you can help shape the future Madaket.
As Diana explained earlier, also, the system will only take one survey per email address. So you can't share it with a family and have everyone's try to send in multiple versions. If they'll have to use a unique email address in order to get it through.
Different IP address.
Well, just to sum that up a little bit, I think the best we can do, which is very good, is to send it out to all the emails we have and then figure out whatever public forum we want, the newspaper or whatever we can think of. This says if you go to Madaket, or if you have anything to do with Madaket and would like to take the survey, here's how you do it.
I'd like to make a suggestion. You know, the next step is to send out the survey to the MAP work group, not just the survey work group. And when we send that out, hopefully next week, it'll be a good opportunity to test this and see what those are.
We can also, when we send it out, in the email going out to each of the recipients, suggest to them that if there are other family members who would like to vote, that they can do that, but they need the link in their email address, just so that they are aware, if there were 3 people, how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to, those are the people that need to request the surveys with their email.
Right.
Just as an FYI, that our MCA membership list, if people request a second email for the husband wants his work, the wife wants it at home, the other way around. So in order to try to keep our count true, what I've done is people looking for a second newsletter at their location is categorizing that as second emails. And so we have the membership address, and then we have a second address. So when I send it out, there's 2 different lists, because Constant Contact will only allow 1 email per name. So you can't have, you know, Leslie Forbes and her husband in Europe, Ronaldo. They can't both have the receive the thing. So that we do have that for those members that want a second copy.
Perhaps we should say, if you want an additional survey, a separate email address is required. Please contact MCA.
Yes. And Diana, didn't you discover that even though you used 2 different emails, but the same computer, it knew, the survey monkey knew that you'd already filled it out on that computer?
No, I even used 2 different computers. But you know what Survey Monkey figured out was because I clicked on a forwarded survey. So I took my dianabrown@comcast.net email with a survey in it, forwarded that to my community sailing email, opened that up on my community sailing computer, and I had to click on it. It said, you've already taken the survey. And I think it's because when I clicked on it, it clicked on the survey that was sent originally to me.
All right.
So you can't forward the survey link to somebody.
Forward the survey, but if I had 2 different emails and I did it and I got a survey link on 2 different emails, I could open each of them up on the same computer and I could do so twice.
I think so.
Do it once, and my husband would have a different email address, and even if he used my computer, he would be fine.
I think so.
So the trick is not forwarding what I get to my 20 other family members who spend time in our house, but send them an email from myself saying, if you want to do this survey, here's the email address that you need to contact to request a survey.
With your email.
A separate survey.
Separate survey. Got it. Okay.
And the nature of these questions doesn't lend itself to people thinking, oh, I can really stack the deck if I answer this 10 different times.
Well, yeah.
This is Tom. We have a good number of people that rent for like a month at a time at Smith's Point. Will they be able to respond?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You have their email address?
Yes.
Okay.
And we specifically ask if you're a renter and how long you're here, because so we want to know that, because that was something specifically that the planning department asked about. They said not just property owners, but people who rent, people who come here, people who've been coming here for years, but maybe just for a couple of weeks or a month at a time. So we want all sorts of different kind of people who spend time in Madaket to be able to answer it. And I think that'll be valuable for us.
Diana, do you have a place that you would like to be a central repository for emails that we know of people that aren't on any of these lists?
Yes, Madaket Conservation Association at gmail.com.
Okay, so we'll send, I can send a list of names like my new next door neighbor and da 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 da. Okay.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Can I send my family members' email addresses to that? Is that kosher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Diana, this is Sheila. So the bottom line is, do you want me to get Lauren to send you the email addresses of the Fisher's Landing people?
That would be ideal, but if she's
Okay.
uncomfortable sharing that information, then we're going to have to figure out how she could send the survey, because she can't forward a survey.
Okay.
But ideally, if she could send those email addresses to us, if only for the purpose of sending out the survey, that would be very helpful.
Okay, and it would be to the Madaket Conservation Group?
It would be to,
is that
go
the
ahead,
email
Bill.
address?
Madaket Conservation Association, all spelled out at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay, so I think what probably I'll do is I'll talk to her and the rest of the board members and see what they want to do. And then we'll let you know.
Thank you.
I think
what I will do, Diana, is as those requests come in, we'll create a separate distribution list, and it'll be for additional survey requests. I don't know if we'll call it additional survey requests or survey requests. So if Fisher's Landing wants to send us that, it's going to go into that pile. It's not going to go into our daily or weekly distribution list. And then at the end, we'll just purge the second request so that they don't get our publications.
I think when you folks see the first set of questions, first 4 or 5 questions, you're going to see simple questions. Are you a property owner in the Madaket area? Several choices. Which best describes how you use your residence in Madaket? 4 or 5 different choices. If you own a home, you offer all or part of it for rent to others. Several answers. And there's one that asks a very broad, what is your age? So you'll be able to see if some of these folks are younger family members or ancient folks like me.
Okay, Diana, this is Sheila again. Can I get someone to send me a copy of the survey? Because I don't have it.
Bruce is going to send it out to the entire work group. So yes, you will get it.
Okay.
Bill is going to send it out.
Or Bill's going to send it out. But again, you will not be able to forward that so that no one else will be able to look at it. But you will be able to see it.
Can you put Lauren O'Donnell on that email so she gets it?
Yes.
Because I'm leaving and I, if she doesn't get it, it'll be all fouled up. I'm not going to be here for the next month.
Well, you can still get it by email if you want to see it.
Well, I'm going to be, I just want to get it, but I want her to get it as well.
Okay.
Yes, and we'll add in we'll send it to both you and Lauren. That sounds good.
Thanks.
I think it would be, for housekeeping purposes, I think it would be helpful to have a motion to recommend how we're going to distribute the survey, because we're asking basically the homeowners associations to do this, the various associations to do this on the Madaket Area Plan Work Group's behalf, because we don't have an email distribution list. Mm-hmm. So could I ask for a motion on this?
Sure.
Okay, thanks, Lars.
Let's see, make a motion for the following. We need to obtain approval to ask the Madaket Conservation Association to distribute map surveys to their member list. We need to ask Fisher's Landing Association to distribute map surveys to their member list, and the Smith Point Association to do the same, to distribute our surveys to their member lists.
Second.
Friendly amendment.
Yes, Bill?
Also in the motion, ask MCA to create a additional survey list or
distribution
whatever.
List,
yeah.
Distribution list.
Yeah.
Of people who request to be added for this.
And I have a question. Do we want to have a separate motion saying anyone who has additional names may send them to the Madaket Conservation Organization, may send the emails to the Madaket Conservation Association.com at gmail.com.
That is stated in the preamble.
Yes, but I mean,
I think that could be part of this motion too, right? Does it all fit together?
Sure.
Could be.
Diana, will there be something at the bottom, like for the Smiths Point people to respond to the Madaket Conservation Association?
Yes. You know, would it make more sense for Smiths Point Association, for Fisher's Landing Association, to feed their mailing list to Bill so it can go out as one document or one set of emails rather than kind of scattering it? Because some of the
Sheila said she was going to try and do for Fisher's Landing.
Yeah, but I have to ask the rest of the board,
but she needs to get approval.
Yeah.
Bruce, it would go out all at once. There'd be just different lists, but in the BCC, which it would be a BCC, not a CC, but in the BCC, it would go out all at once.
I got you.
Okay.
And Tom will share the Smith Point email addresses with Bill.
Yes.
Diana, this is Sheila again. What is your schedule? When do you want to send this out?
Ideally, sometime in mid-May.
Okay. So I'll tell them you'd like to do it by May 15th.
Let's aim for that. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a line on it that says the survey is open until May 30th. Of course, we could change that date, but we don't want this thing to languish out there.
One other point before you make this vote, when, like in Peter's case, just an email address won't hack it. We need to have a first and second name because constant contact requires that for the system to work. So you just couldn't say, you know, Ronaldo Heffenreffer at Gmail. It's got to be, you know, Pete Jones, AK. So that way.
Do you need an address or just a first, last name and email?
First, last, and email.
Yeah. Is there a plan to send out a reminder somewhere between the 15th and the 30th? Just an email to everyone that received the survey saying, reminder, fill out the survey.
I would think you could set up SurveyMonkey to do that.
But we'll have to check. I think we should, for sure, there should be reminders. More than one, probably.
I already got a reminder on the test one.
Well, you need to fill it out.
I filled it out once, but a little word to the wise. If you fill it out and submit it, you can't get back to it. And I needed a paper copy to work from. So Bruce very kindly sent me another link.
So we have a motion on the table that I believe starts with asking the work group's approval to ask the Madaket Conservation Association, the Fishers Landing Association, the Smith Point Association to distribute the survey to their member list, either by providing the emails directly to MCA or, well, that's how we think it's going to work. And then we will ask MCA to create an additional survey distribution list from these associations with the emails to be added, as well as adding emails from anyone who requests a survey to be sent to them. Did I capture that from
Yes.
Leslie and Slars?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think that's great.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor. I'll start with Leslie.
Yes, aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Lars?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Diana? Aye. Thank you. I think we've got a plan. And so the immediate next steps are, Bruce, you're going to send the survey to the MAP work group.
I'm going to wait to hear from Leslie about the her last issue that she's working on.
Okay.
And once I resolve that with her, then I will send it.
Okay. So sometime next week that will go out to the MAP work group. Sheila, you're going to talk to Lauren and the Fishers Landing Board about sharing the emails for the purpose of the survey.
Yes.
But we will not put the emails on the Madaket Conservation newsletter list or otherwise solicit people, but just for the purposes of the survey.
Right.
And then and then I think that's what and then we'll aim for May 15th distribution.
And also, I think it was suggested that if Bruce could program SurveyMonkey to send out reminders if possible for whoever that worked.
I'll try to check that out. Now, Diana, my assumption is that the 11 people, not counting Bill, on this call constitute the MAP work group.
No, it's a broader group. It's the email group that I send to when I announce the meetings.
Okay, I'll try to dig that out.
Okay, I can send it to you again, Bruce, if you'd like.
Thanks.
Includes Carmack, includes Emily, or Jesse Dow.
So it dawned on me, Diana, that I don't think the reminder will come from SurveyMonkey because SurveyMonkey is not sending out the survey. MCA will be sending out a link to the thing. So at some point, I would suggest that the MAP work group decide when they want a reminder to go out, and then we would just hit the same recipients with a reminder.
Okay, good idea.
So that would basically be once, unless you wanted to do one the day before the deadline a second time. But if it's out by the 15th, you send one out a week later, the 22nd, you could send a sweep day or two before the final date.
When it gets sent out, let's say there's 500 emails. Aren't those 500 emails resident also in SurveyMonkey? I don't know SurveyMonkey that well, but I would think SurveyMonkey has a way, if there's 500 emails they have, and 250 people have responded, that the other 250 they could send a reminder to. But
maybe we can look at the help thing on the.
I don't know that, but I bet you there's something there.
Yeah.
That there is too. If it won't let you take the survey twice, it knows that you've already taken it.
Exactly.
And I think
I sent it out to the MAP survey group using SurveyMonkey. I don't think I went through Bill, did I?
It came from Madaket Conservation Association.
Well, that's because Madaket Conservation Association is one of the two vectors that SurveyMonkey has listed. It's the Madaket Conservation Association and Bruce Mandel.
It just dawned on me, I believe when we initially set the account up, it was set to capture email addresses, but not IP addresses. You know, because 12 years ago when we did our last survey, there was this thing that nobody wanted their home computer noted. And so we never enacted that part in the setup of the SurveyMonkey. So you're right, Laz. I think it captures, once you click on that link, it captures the email that link came from.
We need to add a SurveyMonkey employee to our working group.
Let's figure out the budget for that.
Yeah.
That's why Bruce gets paid the big dollars.
Yeah, his name is Bruce.
I'll be happy to send you the SurveyMonkey manual, which it seems to be written in English, but it's beyond my comprehension.
So
thanks, but no thanks.
To circle back to the broader distribution, we had two ideas on the table. One was to post something in the 3 daily emails that come out above the fold from the Inquiring Mirror, Nantucket Current, and Daybreak. That was one idea. And another idea was to use the GIS maps to have the off-island, the addresses, the official addresses for every property owner, and then devise a postcard that would have a code on it. I think I have heard that I'd like to confirm that we're not going to do either of those.
Yeah, I don't recommend going through Current or Daybreak or Man About Town or anything like that. I think we need
above the fold. Remember, above the fold.
We need to control this.
Anybody else? So that's what I was gathering from this meeting. Is that a consensus?
I think so. And if what we can find out, Leslie, is if no one answers the survey after a couple of reminders in that first 2-week period, then we go to Plan B.
Okay.
Or if we get such poor response, we go to Plan B.
And I am fine with that. I just wanted to confirm the consensus of the group.
Does that, I see nodding. Do we need a vote on this right now?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay. Well, just looking at the calendar, May 30th is Memorial Day, I think, right?
Yes.
So maybe if we say complete by May 31st and that last reminder goes out, maybe the Friday of that weekend, the 27th or something.
I'll change the date in the narrative.
Okay, I think we have a plan. Are there any other questions or comments that anyone has?
Nope.
Then could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Bob will second.
Okay, then I'll do a roll call. Leslie?
Aye. Yes.
Michael?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Lars?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
Thank you all very much for your time. And for, again, thank you to the survey subgroup. You guys did an awesome job. Thank you.
Thanks, Diana.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
David, are you driving a bus?
Not anymore.